All right, so the main part of the song, it as well, the verse, if you will. Um, I believe the chords are fairly basic, and I'll try and just kind of tell you the chords while we're going through it. So I'm basically going to bank on the fact that most of you can pick out the melody by ear. And here again, if you're, I play most of the melody with my left hand so that I can start arpeggios with my right one. So if you have trouble picking out the melody, I don't know if I can notate this for anybody, but I'll see what I can do. So it starts over here on the A, okay, and the very first chord is the D. So here again, just like the intro, you need to understand that it sounds like I'm playing a lot, and sometimes the embellishments that I'm using, I'm just adding like what they call a second, which is the second note of the chord. So if I'm playing a D major, I'm putting an E in there. If I'm playing a G major chord, I'm putting an A. It just adds a little bit of color to it. So rhythmically, I'm just adding a little bit, I'm just adding arpeggio, so you could break it down really simply and go okay. So just know that most of arranging, especially on the hammered dulcimer, if you're wanting to add some what we call grace notes underneath it, you have to understand that you don't want to play it with a lot of you don't want to play those extra notes as loud as you're playing the melody. So some of the notes are there sometimes, and sometimes they're more prominent. Sometimes they're sitting way back there. But really practice your dynamics on this, so that you're just playing kind of like this soft bed of notes behind it, and there really is no combination of notes that's necessarily wrong or that I could point you to. So that's why I'm being very general with what I'm playing here. So all right, so let's go through that again just real quick, and then we'll move to the B minor. So it goes D, so right there on that B minor. So I'm just walking up basically a B minor chord. So if you played this diamond pattern B minor, you would play a B, D, F sharp, B. So what I'm adding in there is that E, then I'm landing on the D to So the B minor here again, I kind of tend to play chords over another chord, and that gives you a lot of different coloration. So right there I'm playing a B minor, but I'm hitting a D, E, and F sharp. So I'm just staying on that D and F sharp, D, E, and F sharp. And then when I come down here, I'm hitting E major. Okay, and so there on the E major, I'm doing the same thing by hitting. I'm just hitting between the G sharp A and the B. And then the next chord is an A. Okay, so here again, now what I do is, let me play this real quick because I kind of walk up to the next note. Okay, so basically once I hit that A, I'm just playing an arpeggio, and then what I'm walking up to, okay, I'm basically just playing between my drone notes, if you will, are the D and the A, and I'm just walking up the melody. Whoops. Anyway, so I'm walking up to that D because that's my next note. And the rest of the time I'm just kind of coming back to a D and an A. So let me do it one more time. D, G, and here's an E minor, and what I'm doing is I'm walking the melody up, and as I'm doing that, I'm walking the right hand up a sixth below it. Okay, I gotta grab my place again. G, A, walking up again. A, C sharp is where it starts, and I'm heading to the D. D, G, A, D, G, all right, so that's about it on the verse. I hope that's not too terribly complicated. Again, the main thing is if you know your chords and you're just adding a few grace notes in here and there, and it's nothing fancy that I'm doing. People ask me a lot of times, well, what are you putting in between the notes? It's like, well, I'm just kind of noodling on the notes that make up that chord, and every now and then I add in just a different note, like a second, like I was saying, or a 7 to kind of give it just some different coloration. So let's move on to the chorus.